Who is that person right now who works with you, who's a colleague of yours, a coworker, maybe a family member? It seems like every single time you try to have the simplest interaction, they turn it into World War III. You know what I'm talking about. Well, in this video, I'm going to teach you exactly, tangible, very practical advice on how to deal with difficult people, not only at work, but at home, even the dude inside here. Come on back. How's it going, Nez Nation? It's so good to see you. I am Professor Nez, your personal branding coach, executive career coach, online business strategist. If you're new to this channel, what we do here is we help you get out of your own way, communicate your message, share your story with the world in the most impactful modern ways so that you can earn more, grow faster, and stress less. I've been listening to your requests, getting your emails, your DMs, your tweets. Hey, Nez, how do you do it? How do you deal with toxic people at work? How do you deal with difficult people in your life, in your personal life, in your professional life? I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that. Before we do, just hang out for 1 second. I have to tell you about an amazing opportunity to get a free coaching call from yours truly, the greatest personal branding coach on the planet. We've been running this online mentoring program where, you get a chance, an opportunity to win a free coaching session. This is like thousands of dollars worth of value, y'all. Just by doing this one thing. We're doing a contest. We've been doing this contest for a while. I've got an entire playlist of personal branding coaching calls, career coaching calls, life mindset coaching calls. I got a playlist in the description down below and on my channel if you want to go check it out. So here's how you enter the contest. You want to go and check out our Personal Branding 101 podcast hosted by yours truly. We're on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, everywhere. And what we want is we want you to go to Apple and we want you to write us a 5-star review, screenshot that review, and go ahead and post it on social, tagging me, Professor Nez. I'm Professor Nez on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere, Instagram. Professor Nez, tag me in that. And that's how you enter for an opportunity to get a free coaching call with yours truly. I'll leave descriptions down below. We've got an all-star, multi-5-star reviewed podcast. It's the best podcast helping you to share your story with the world so you can earn more, grow faster, and stress less. You should be checking it out anyway, really. But this is an awesome opportunity to get a chance with me. If you're struggling to advance your career, if you're struggling to grow your business, this is your opportunity. So make sure that you enter this contest. I'll leave more details in the description down below. Okay, without further ado, how do you deal with difficult people? I'm going to give you some actionable steps one by one. The first thing that you have to understand is you've got to go in there with the right mindset. Everything has to do with this. If you're not new to my channel, you're going to know exactly where I'm going with this. Something that I've learned a long time ago, I've been on this earth for quite some time now. And one thing that I've learned that is absolutely capital T true is that most people will keep to themselves what's really bothering them. Most people don't like to share. When you talk to people and you say, "Hey, how you doing, Fred? How's everything? How was your weekend?" Usually, what do they say? They say, "Okay, everything's cool." Let me know in the comments down below how many times that you've talked to somebody and you felt like things weren't okay, but they went ahead and gave you that cliche kind of automatic reply anyway. It's not okay. Most people, especially the difficult people that you're working with, it's not okay. You got to understand. Do not take their actions. Do not take their intensity. Do not take their abruptness. Do not take their difficultness. Is that a word? Probably not. Don't take that personally. That's step number one. You have to have the right expectations. You have to have the right mindset walking into an encounter with this individual. There are things that you will never know that person is going through. That person could have just learned, that their mother, has cancer. They could be dealing with a lot of unknown battles, like most of us, just like normal, regular, everyday people, without ever uttering a word. Why? Because usually at work, we keep things professional. We keep things on the level. We keep things on the surface. And so really just going in there without taking things personal, I can't tell you how tantamount that is to not only your work life, your professional life, but your personal life, your interactions with your kids, your family, your friends, your loved ones. This will take you a long way. Try to adopt a mindset of forgiveness, understanding, empathy, listening, And it will change your entire dynamic. And you can do this by just starting with, okay, everything that's happening here, because you can, when you're dealing with a difficult individual, there's an inclination, there's a propensity to want to be like, gosh, you get angered very easily. It's easy to get frustrated. It's easy to get angry. It's actual work to take a step back, take a deep breath, and say, you know what, this has nothing to do with me. Because I guarantee you 1 billion%, it absolutely has nothing to do with you. This person is experiencing something very, very difficult, something very, very strained in their life. And it's not just, it doesn't even necessarily have to be something that's happening right now. This could be years and years of conditioning, years and years of experience, maybe traumatic experiences, upbringing, genes. There's a million different variables that got nothing to do with you. So take a sigh of relief, take a deep breath, and please embrace this first step. Don't take things personally. Don't take their actions. Don't take their words. Don't take their behavior personally. It will change everything. The second thing, don't be afraid to enlist the services of your colleagues, to bring up to people that you trust at your work. Hey, Stacy, am I nuts? Or is it just every time I talk to Jeffrey, or every time I ask him just to do one little thing, or every time I try to spark some kind of dialogue on a project, or maybe just something outside of our work, there seems to be this level of electricity and intensity and complexity that takes place. Am I the only one that sees this? This is really important, okay? Because a lot of us, we feel that by asking somebody, we're either, not relying on our own kind of self-sufficiency, which can be construed as weakness, or be construed as, you're tattletaling on your employee, or you're the one who's being difficult. Why are you bringing up an issue where there is no issue? We're afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask if you bring it up in the right way. Remember how I said this is not going to be butterfly advice. I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it. This is exactly how you do it. Let's say your coworker, Stacy, or maybe you have a really good relationship with your supervisor or boss. Granted, if you're dealing with a lot of difficult individuals, or there's somebody there who's been able to get away with difficult behavior for a very, very long time, your boss might not be the first person that you can go to. But let's just say you have a great relationship with your immediate supervisor or your boss. I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it. This is how you do it. Step by step. Just literally take notes on this, follow this by verbatim, study this, rewind it. This is exactly how you do it. Hey, Ted, I want to ask you something. Do you mind if we have just a quick chat? Look, first of all, I want to say this. I want to talk a little bit about Jeff. And before you think anything, I just want to say this. This could completely be wrong. This could completely be just my view, my opinion, my reaction. And I'm more than willing to admit that I could be wrong about this. I just trust your advice. I trust your opinion. I trust the way that you read people. I know you're somebody that I could get a real kind of take on what exactly is going on here. Really, a real objectivity. So I want to ask you, it seems like every time I try to ask Jeff something, or try to talk about a project or something that's off topic, or maybe not about the project or anything at all, it seems like there's a lot of tension. Am I the only one that's experiencing this? If I am, I apologize I ever asked. I don't want there to be a thing. I'm really, really sorry. But asking something like that, asking in that kind of manner, in a very humble kind of way, because y'all know politics at the office place. Office politics can be a major drag. It could be a major career detriment to you. It could be something that can derail your progress in a company. So you never want to engage in kind of office politics and office gossip and things of that nature. You want to just try to do your job, be the best that you can, to be a team player, a collaborator, and work your butt off, and you're going to be just fine. So when you bring it up in that fashion, with humility, notice how I started with, hey, I could be completely wrong. Most people, when they ask somebody at work about another person, they say like, what's going on with Jeff? Here's what not to do, and what most people do. Why is Jeff such an a-hole? That's the wrong way to do it. You want to approach things with humility. Remember what I said: empathy, understanding, listening. forgiveness. Everybody's going through something that you'll never understand. It's got nothing to do with you. Don't take things personally. Don't be afraid to enlist the services of somebody that you trust. If it's not your boss or supervisor, maybe a colleague or coworker or a teammate or a project team member that you're a part of. Ask them. See if they can give you objectivity. Don't engage in gossip. You're not judging. You just are trying to come at this. By approaching it with humility, you're demonstrating to your colleague, your boss, whoever, the company, that look, I'm just trying to rectify this. I'm trying to approach this situation with humility. I'm not trying to cause any waves. I just want to be the most productive and effective person that I can be on the job. And this is something that, has been brought up to me. There's all sorts of corporate policies and reporting and all that kind of thing that you can kind of look up. There isn't like a one size fits all. So you might want to check with your company policies or HR and maybe say, hey, what's the right approach or right protocol for something like this? I don't want to cause waves. I don't want to cause trouble, but this is something that's affecting me. You should be honest about this. And you should be somebody who feels comfortable in your company voicing your opinions and voicing your concerns. Okay, the next thing that's really, really powerful. This is a simple video, but these tips and these, they're legendary. I mean, these are things that I've deployed myself. There's things you can find other people. And by the way, leave in the comments down below if you've got anything out of this video that you think, wow, that's something that I'm going to try to use, or maybe you're going to implement, or let me know if you have any tips, if you have any best practices or strategies dealing with difficult people at work. You may not believe this, I respond to all in the comments, all my YouTube comments. So leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, the next step, and this is huge. We talked about approaching things with a not taking things personal attitude, mindset. We talked about enlisting services, being a communicator, being somebody who's open-minded, flexible. Now I want to talk to you about actually dealing with the individual. You see, most people will, when they're dealing with a difficult person, the first thing that they will do, they will react. There's one thing that you have to understand more than anything. When you're in a reactionary mode, bad things can happen. When you're in that mode of just reacting, usually bad things end up resulting from that. You're not engaging in a productive, constructive conversation when you're just reacting. So you have to understand this. This is the sort of framework for this. This is huge. You don't have control over other people's behaviors, but what you absolutely have complete sovereignty over is how you react and how your behavior and your actions. That's what you have total supremacy over and total control over. And so you can control those instantaneous reactions. So one thing that you need to be careful of is when this difficult individual at work starts to engage in their difficult behavior, that you don't allow them, to infect your own behavior, your own demeanor, your own professionalism. And so if they keep going higher, you keep going lower. If they keep getting red, you just stay cool blue, cool as a pickle. You can control this. It's more productive. You can't beat fire with fire. You got to be water. If you want to put that fire out, you got to be water. You got to be cool as a cucumber. And so really to exit that reactionary phase, and you can be very cognizant of this, when that reactionary kind of volcanic lava starts erupting in your chest, you feel it here. You got to cut that thing before it gets too far, before it gets too out of control, because we've all experienced when we've let the reactionary state completely consume us. I'm going to completely be honest. I've been in that state as well. It's terrible, and we usually regret it. And 99 out of 100 times, bad things end up resulting from that behavior. So really cutting off that reactionary phase, that reactionary kind of eruption that's ready to happen, and just really trying to approach this individual with as much antithesis to their behavior as possible. You want to be the exact opposite of the level of difficultness. If they're being more difficult, you try to be more compromising. If they're being more heated and more angry, you try to be more cool, more calm. If they're getting too abrupt, intense, you want to keep things tranquil as much as you can. And I promise you, this is the best way to diffuse the situation. There are those instances, there are those exceptions where it just seems like no matter what you do, the difficultness and the problems just continue. And if that's somebody that's happening to you, let me know in the comments down below. I'd like to hear personally from you what your situation is, because if there's a toxic person at your work, it can affect and bleed into every other area of your life. So let me know in the comments down below. I'd like to respond and maybe even create a video out of our exchange or out of your question. I'd love to hear from you. I hope you got a lot of value from this video. Again, I want to just do a quick review. Number one, don't take things personal. This is huge. I've got a ton of videos on mindset, on getting out of your own way, taking control of your anxiety, taking control of your emotions, being the internal master that you can be, and not allowing others to bother you, not allowing others to offend you, not allowing others to pollute your way of being. I've got a ton of videos. I'll leave them in the description down below. Don't take things personally. Number two, don't be afraid to ask questions, to be humble. Don't think that you have to figure everything out on your own and only I can do this and I should be man up. I should man up. That's all BS. Don't be afraid to enlist the services of somebody else. And then number three, you've got to really take control over that and cut that reactionary kind of mode that tends to happen when you're dealing with somebody like this at work. You do those three things and I promise you, you're going to have amazing results and you're going to be able to work with peace of mind and you're going to be able to watch. You may even turn this difficult person into an ally, into somebody who becomes, who knows, a longtime friend or a more productive, at the very least, a more productive, effective working relationship. Again, I'm Professor Nez, your personal branding coach, executive career coach, online business strategist. Go check out these other videos. Make sure that you subscribe down there because I'm bringing bone marrow content, the best content on the planet related to mindset, messaging, branding, everything that you need to get your story out there, whether it's to advance your career or to grow your online business. I've got you covered. I want to see you there. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much. I'll check you out in the next video.